What is this madness? What are we doing here? Never thought I'd be here again. Yes, I did. What am I talking about? Welcome to Under Aperture Science. We're very far underground, aren't we? Oh, we need to get up there. So, can we portal our way up there? Can I crouch jump my way up there? No. I guess we're taking the stairs. I have to apologize for the delay in videos in this game. I just absolutely love this game in every possible way, and I didn't want to record any of it while not in the mood to record it because I want it to be as good as possible. And I want my commentary to be as high quality as possible. There's a lever? Oh, there it is.
Welcome, gentlemen, to Aperture Science. Astronauts, war heroes, Olympians, you're here because we want the best. And you are it. So, who is ready to make some science?
I am.
Now, you already met one another on the limo ride over, so let me introduce myself. I'm Cave Johnson. I own the place. That eager voice you heard is the lovely Carolyn, my assistant. Rest assured, she has transferred your honorarium to the charitable organization of your choice. Isn't that right, Carolyn?
Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson.
She's the backbone of this facility. Pretty as a postcard, too. There's a thousand tests performed every day here to science. I can't personally oversee every one of them, so these pre-recorded messages will cover any questions you might have and respond to any incidents that may occur in the course of your science adventure. Your test assignment will vary depending on the manner in which you have bent the world to your will. Those of you helping us test the repulsion gel today, just follow the blue line on the floor. Those of you who volunteered to be injected with praying mantis DNA, I've got some good news and some bad news. Bad news is we're postponing those tests indefinitely. Good news is we've got a much better test for you. Fighting an army of mantis men. Pick up a rifle and follow the yellow line. You'll know when the test starts.
Yep, that was Cave Johnson, who made his riches in shower curtains. And that's a potato. Why there's a potato there? I don't know. We have to make our way to the very top of this place by pressing this button. I'll try not to speak over anything Cave Johnson says, but sometimes his dialogue starts very abruptly, let's say. So it's hard to not interrupt him. Now, of course, as before, I will be showing all of the game's achievements, at least all that are possible in a single run-through. So here we see the first part of the vitrified test chambers. You just have to walk up to every door in the game that says vitrified and press the use button, and you will hear a funny message.
If you've cut yourself at all in the course of these tests, you might have noticed that your blood is pure gasoline. That's normal. We've been shooting you with an invisible laser that's supposed to turn blood into gasoline, so all that means is it's working. If you need to go to the bathroom after this next series of tests, please let a test associate know, because in all likelihood, whatever comes out of you is going to be cold. Only temporary, so do not worry. If it persists for a week, though, start worrying and come see us, because that's not supposed to happen.
Alright, and now for the success, the way through this chamber proper. Portal up there. Come down these stairs. Down to the other side, and you'll find this opening. Portal at the bottom of the elevator shaft and hop off. That should launch you all the way over to Pump Station Alpha. Now remember what I said before, always follow the lights. Lights are kind of the developer's ways of attracting your eyes to where you need to look. There's some pretty funny things in here. If you want to look around and read these, know your allergens: pollen, animal dander, plastics, and antimatter. Let's press that and leave. That turns on this pump. Pumpy, pumpy, pumpy pump. Pumping. Pump is now pumping, and we are leaving. Follow this down
They say
here.
Great science is built on the shoulders of giants. Not here. At Aperture, we do all our science from scratch. No hand-holding.
Some of you may have noticed that I have a better mic from last time. If you've only been watching Portal 2, that's because if you're watching this in the future, there was actually a fairly sizable chunk of time between parts 7 and 8 because I have trouble sticking to a schedule.
All right, let's get started. This first test involves something the lab boys call repulsion gel. You're not part of the control group, by the way. You get the gel. Last poor son of a gun got blue paint. All joking aside, that did happen. Broke every bone in his legs. Tragic, but informative. Or so I'm told.
Now, the propulsion gel will bounce you exactly as high as you jump onto it. So as you can see, because I jumped from that height, it bounced me perfectly up here, but when I only bounced from there, it bounced me up to here. I don't remember what that button is. Is it? Nope. Oh well, I'll figure it out. Now you press that, that will bounce that box down there. Hop down, grab it. Bounce myself back up. Put it on the door, hop back over, and we are done with number 1.
Me that I should not have mentioned the control group. They're telling me I ought to stop making these pre-recorded messages. That gave me an idea. Make more pre-recorded messages. I pay the bills here, I can talk about the control group all damn day.
Now this is one part that I always trip up on, but the solution is more obvious than you would expect.
For this next test, we put nanoparticles in the gel. In layman's terms, that's a billion little gizmos that are going to travel into your bloodstream and pump experimental genes and RNA molecules and so forth into your tumors. Now, maybe you don't have any tumors. Well, don't worry. If you sat on a folding chair in the lobby and weren't wearing lead underpants, we took care of that too.
Now some of you may have wondered, why did I zoom in on that thing back there that said 1953? Well, if you remember, earlier, several minutes ago, Cave Johnson said that some of the volunteers were astronauts. Well, the first astronaut was Yuri Gagarin in the early 1960s, almost 10 years after this was supposedly made. Get out of here, fly. So I don't know if that's deliberate by the writer, developer, people at Valve guys, or if that's just something that they forgot to realize. But either way, it's a thing. Bounce up here. Now we get to learn how to bounce off the walls. I don't know if it works or not, but it seems like looking in the direction that you're bouncing bounces you just a little bit further than just bouncing without moving what you're looking at. Then again, I may just be talking out of my butt, so. Oh, up there's where we want to put the portal. Then we can bounce through here and fly to the exit.
Oh, in case you got covered in that repulsion gel, here's some advice the lab boys gave me. Do not get covered in the repulsion gel. We haven't entirely nailed down what element it is yet, but I'll tell you this, it's a lively one, and it does not like the human skeleton.
That sounds blatantly terrifying.
All these science spheres are made of asbestos, by the way. Keeps out the rats. Let us know if you feel a shortness of breath, a persistent dry cough, or your heart stopping, because that's not part of the test. That's asbestos. Good news is the lab boys say the symptoms of asbestos poisoning show a median latency of 44.6 years. So if you're 30 or older, you're laughing. Worst case scenario, you miss out on a few rounds of canasta. I like your style. You make up your own rules, just like me. Bean Counter said I couldn't fire a man just for being in a wheelchair. Did it anyway. Ramps are expensive.
He sounds like J. Jonah Jameson. Well, in here we get our first instance of pushing blue paint through portals to move the so-called repulsion gel to where we need it to be. So what you need to do is we're going to come up here. We're going to actually bounce it up vertically like that so that it lands on the ground. And we're going to do the same up here. So that we can now double jump. Oh, go figure, I land right in the middle. Right in between the two splotches. Up. Almost there. Up again. Bounce again. Now let's make it. Come on, Shell, you can do it. Yes! Now we need a portal on here, because we need to get over to the exit. Put another portal down there, which will fire the gel, hopefully. Yes, out there. So that we can now hop off and use that momentum to fire ourselves onto the gel, over the hole, and into the exit.
That coffee we gave you earlier had fluorescent calcium in it, so we can track the neuronal activity in your brain. There's a slight chance the calcium could harden and vitrify your frontal lobe. Anyway, don't stress yourself thinking about it. I'm serious. Visualizing the scenario while under stress actually triggers the reaction.
Vertically Unchallenged was a achievement in there.
Now, if you're part of Control Group Kepler-7, we implanted a tiny microchip about the size of a postcard into your skull. Most likely you've forgotten it's even there. But if it starts vibrating and beeping during this next test, let us know. Because that means it's about to hit 500 degrees, so we're going to need to go ahead and get that out of you pretty fast.
Well, no, 500 degree postcard sized piece of metal in my skull? No, that sounds perfectly fine. I would be fine with that. Ow. Splashed myself.
I'm telling them, keep your pants on. Alright, this next test may involve trace amounts of time travel. So, word of advice, if you meet yourself on the testing track, don't make eye contact. Lab boys tell me that'll wipe out time. Entirely. Forward and backward. So, do both of yourselves a favor and just let that handsome devil go about his business.
Now we need to fling ourselves off the wall and come up here. Now, remember this little spot, because you're going to need to fire a portal there so that you have access to this blue gel. I was stuck here for hours the first time I was in here because I didn't remember to do that. I didn't know to do that. Because you need to get the gel there. So that you can do this. Jump off. Bounce off there. And hit this catwalk. Then you can just portal yourself upwards onto this other catwalk, and you're out.
It means you're taking a long time on the catwalk between tests. The lab boys say that might be a fear reaction. I'm no psychiatrist, but coming from a bunch of eggheads who wouldn't recognize the thrill of danger if it walked up and snapped their little pink bras, that sounds like projection. They didn't fly into space, storm a beach, or bring back the gold. No, sir, we did. It's you and me against the world, son. I like your grit. Hustle could use some work, though. Now let's solve this thing.
Now, this in here is one of the hardest achievements. What we need to do is, we're going to use this blue gel out of here to cover this box in blue gel so it bounces around and flies out of there. And the achievement is to catch it when it flies through this solid glass, because as you can see, all four sides are made of glass. And what we need to do is catch it before it touches the ground. Thankfully, for this achievement to function, this platform is not considered ground by the achievement. So if you're lucky and your timing is good enough, what you can do is bounce it around until it bounces oh, that didn't work. Nope. Did it pop? No, I think it touched the ground over here. Bugger. Oh well. I'll cut here and try it again, because I want to get that achievement for myself. So I'll see everyone in just a second. Okay, as you can see, I managed to stop it when it just broke that up there. So what we're going to try to do is use the blue paint to bounce ourselves in there. And again, if this takes too long, I will cut some of it out, because that can be boring. So actually, what if we just portaled on top, and then just... oh, nope. Walked a little bit too far. And then just kind of swung ourselves... Now, the physics on this thing are kind of strange. This game isn't really made to handle moving ground under the player character. But we can do that. Grab this and we get Schrodinger's catch, which we can now place on there to drop that. Get ourselves some more blue. Bounce ourselves back on top. And now we can drop some blue onto that thing again so it bounces up. And we are out.
Science is about why. It's about why not. Why is so much of our science dangerous? Why not marry safe science and love it so much? In fact, why not invent a special safety door that won't hit you on the butt on the way out, because you are fired. Now you, test subject, you're doing fine. Yes, you. Box your stuff. Out the front door. Parking lot. Car. Goodbye.
Well, that's not very nice.